Hi, everybody. It's Darla Reborn, and I want to talk about this. Desperation is unattractive. All right. Let's talk about why. And if you find yourself, or if you feel that you're a little bit desperate, how you can get past that and how you can kind of make decisions to not come off that way. Okay. Because I don't think any one of us wants to come off as being desperate. But you have certain themes and certain ways of being that when they're communicated to other people, we're projecting an energy of desperation. All right. So here we go. Let's throw out some stereotypical scenarios. You've got the desperate woman who's seeking a man at all costs. She wants a husband. She makes it clear that she's very dissatisfied with her current state of being. When she interacts with the men, if she finds him to be nice, she's constantly seeking his marital status. She wants to know if he's married. If he's nice and he's unmarried, she wants a date. If she gets a date with the guy, she's talking about marriage. She's pushing for a commitment. She wants to know, what's his level of commitment? What is he seeking? She's immediately trying to get to the bottom line. And when the relationship is getting to a certain point, she's making innuendos and she's hinting and she's seeing herself walking down the aisle with this guy who she barely knows. I think that men find these women scary because, well, we'll get to the because later, but we know how men tend to perceive these women. They run, they run, they run. They try to create as much distance as possible once they feel this tug this woman is giving them. It makes them feel really nervous, like a lot is expected of them. From someone they barely know. It's very, very uncomfortable. Another scenario is the sex crazed man. He's chasing after women. On social media, he's sending inboxes. He's constantly complimenting women. He's constantly looking for her time, wanting to have sex with her, letting her know that he's thinking about her and he's available, and it's very objectifying, just to throw one thing out. But aside from that, it's like we find as women men more alluring when they're not as available and when they're not so desperate. And so the guy who's throwing himself at you is kind of like, oh, no, that's not attractive. It's off-putting. The person who doesn't catch those innuendos, who doesn't catch those hints, like, dude, I'm not feeling you. He doesn't hear that. He doesn't see that. He's so focused on what he wants, right? Now, I just threw out two like romantic type scenarios, but at the end of the day, desperation can be displayed in friendships. I personally feel in my life that that's where the most desperation has been shown, is in my friendships and the way I perceive them. But nonetheless, let's talk about this. Okay, what is attraction? Because I think all of us want to be found attractive. We want we want people to want to be in our lives. No, none of us wants to have to ball and chain people into wanting to stick around, right? So attraction, what do you find attractive in your friends and in your significant others? Okay, here we go. People that I find attractive have a zest for life. They generate an exciting energy. You want to be around them because they seem happy. They seem content. They have a certain confidence about themselves where they just seem comfortable in their own skin. They're kind of like unapologetic about who they are. They've embraced themselves. They're not constantly critical of themselves and talking about how they don't like certain aspects of their body. They seem to like who they are. They may acknowledge things about their body that they're not crazy about, but it's not a deal ender. And it doesn't create an energy that's sad and overwhelming and pressure, right? They just seem light. And when you're around them, you feel good. They make you feel good because they're nice and they're happy, right? Okay, so that's an attractive person. And attractive things draw you in. That's what attraction's all about. Attractive things draw you. You just kind of want to be close to them because the energy that it creates makes you want more, right? Unattractive or desperate people come off as being constantly seeking your attention. They're constantly looking for you to turn their way. They come off as very needy. They may even express their needs constantly. They may constantly express their dissatisfaction in previous relationships or other relationships. They're seeking a fix. They're looking for your time and attention to fill in some type of hole that they have in their lives. And you feel pressure when you're around this person. You feel like you need to help them. You feel sorry for them. And feeling sorry for someone naturally puts them in a place that's smaller than you. And that's not sexy. Like, you know, even when it comes to like friendships, somebody that you feel bad for, you don't really admire somebody you pity. You know, pity, it's not a feeling that you are drawn to someone because you pity them. Even if you are, it's temporary. I think a little tidbit that I want to throw in is that you can get with someone who loves to meet needs and finds pleasure in making you happy and loving to fix and make everyone feel good. So the needy person, the desperate person might match up with the Mr. Fix It or the Miss Fix It, right? But at the end of the day, neediness and desperation and helping and fixing that person is not a spirit or not a position that most people can retain or sustain over a period of time. At some point, desperation and neediness gets really old and it gets overwhelming. And because there's way too much pressure involved in meeting people's needs all the time. There's not that reciprocity. You can lean on me, but I can't lean on you because you have so many needs. So that's what desperation creates. I think ultimately, when people are desperate, when I've been desperate, I was seeking things in other people that I was not being and doing for myself. And I was seeking a hole to be filled in some way. I think there's an underlying belief that when you are desperate, when you're desperate, there's an underlying belief that people don't really want your time, that you don't deserve attention, which is why you're throwing it out to people because it's almost like you're trying to catch someone. You just want someone to give you attention. And it's almost like you don't believe that you deserve it, which is why you have to throw yourself at people. When you know that you're worthy and you're desirable, although you may really want someone's attention, you're not willing to compromise your dignity by throwing it out there for everyone and throwing it at people. Even people you think are a good catch or good people to be around, you're not willing to throw it out there that way because you realize you're worthy. And eventually, good people will come into your life. I think the desperation comes in because there's an expectation that people won't like you or that you're not very likable or that accepting you is not a good thing, that you are a hassle. And I think that's where the desperation comes in. So here we go. Let's talk about ways to get beyond just desperation. I almost said depression, but desperation. If that's where you find that you are, how do you get past it? All right, so here we go. Check your beliefs. Check your underlying beliefs. Like I said before, you may have underlying beliefs that say you're not worthy, that make you feel like you're not worthwhile, that you're less than. You know, if you find that you're a person that elevates other people's worth and importance above your own, and you constantly always in the room, you always feel like the small guy or the small girl, you don't feel like you're as important as other people. Desperation comes from trying to prove your worth. So check your beliefs and try to find out what your underlying beliefs are. Generally, when you do have underlying beliefs, they come from past relationships and experiences that have not been positive. They may come from home. In your upbringing at home, you may have been taught that fighting for your place was the way to go. Or you may have been taught that you're not very worthy, or that you're not important. And so you might be attempting to try to make up for that belief by overcompensating and throwing yourself at people, right? Okay, so check your beliefs, check your underlying beliefs. And number two, disconnect from toxic people in your life. If you find that you have people who make you feel less valuable, people who their spirit doesn't resonate with yours, and they're not really filling your life or giving to your life, but are taking from your life, disconnect from people like that. And set major boundaries with people that you find to experience this way, because it'll only create more desperation. Desperation comes from a need to have. You know, think about when people are starving, literally starving. They're desperate for food. And if you literally got people around you who are emotionally starving you, who they're just not really willing to meet your needs. They're not interested in your needs. Sometimes we can have relationships with people where we find it very normal for us to serve them, but they don't serve us. It literally creates more holes in your life. And so sometimes when you find that this is your experience, you latch on to other people and you want them to fill in the gaps where other people have left you high and dry. So check your beliefs, disconnect from toxic people. 3, feed your spirit. Things that you know will feed you. Whether it's complimenting yourself, doing things that are going to make you feel fulfilled, listening to music, exercising, taking care of yourself, eating well, doing things that are going to contribute to your being and not take from your being. Love on you and feed yourself and your mind with good information, so that you don't feel less than, so that you feel and walk in a good energy and have a good aura about you, and things that are going to help to build up who you are and not take and tear down who you are, right? So once again, check your beliefs, disconnect from toxic people, feed your spirit, and do what you enjoy. Do the things that matter to you. And along with this is, don't wait for other people to do the things you enjoy. If you want to go to the movies, if you, I'm going to kind of leave the club alone. I think for ladies, it's really good to go to the club with a friend, safety-wise, but do the things that you enjoy. Go to the movies. Go to the mall. Get your nails done. Those are all kind of female things, but go to the game. You know, go to the bar by yourself. If you're a guy, go to sporting events by yourself. And if that's something that matters to you, stereotypical things, but do the things regardless of your gender that matter to you. And don't always look for someone to do that with you. Don't always have to need somebody else before you do the things that you enjoy. If you want to buy a home, buy a home. You know, don't wait for someone else. All right, so here we go. I'm going to, once again, check your beliefs, disconnect from toxic people, feed your spirit, and do what you enjoy. All right? There's something about when people are taking good care of themselves that is just so attractive. I believe that you find friends, you find you're more in a position to meet people, to date, when you are enjoying your life, when you are happy. There's something about when you can generate your own happiness. It just is so attractive. And people will want to be around you. People will be drawn to your confidence and your security. And so those are just a few things that I want to share with you about desperation, what it looks like, why it's off-putting, and what some of the underlying things behind it could be. So hopefully that helps. Know that you're worthy and that you're worth it. And if you find anything I said in this video to be a bit uncomfortable, perhaps you may be in a desperate place. And hopefully my tips have helped. And thank you so much for listening. Take care.